6:30, I'll bring the meeting to order. First up, modifications and changes. Nothing to add for tonight, huh? No? Okay. Move on to public comment. Is there anybody here from the public who wishes to speak tonight?
You're an agenda item, unless you have something
I'm
else.
sorry.
Okay.
He doesn't
Just
want
giving
to
you a
speak.
heads up on that.
I'm sorry, I know the rules.
Okay, if nobody wants to speak, then I'll move on to review and approval for the minutes of May 23rd. There was some errors, those got corrected.
If anybody needs a clean copy to review, I have them somewhere.
Yeah, you emailed a copy.
Yeah, I emailed one to
Yeah.
everybody.
I didn't get a chance to look at it again. So how is it stated? Like, are you allowed to, when we get grants, are you allowed to just sign away from the table for grants? Like,
That wasn't what the motion was. The motion was just what to do with the funds if the youth center does not get up and running or isn't successful within 5 years.
And
So
to
if-
create the account.
Yes.
Okay, so
So-
you would then need a different motion for that? Is that
What
correct?
exactly are you asking?
Like the Vermont Community the Vermont Children's Trust Foundation grant to be able to, for you to sign the paperwork and
I think the board way back when they gave us permission to go for grants.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we had crossed our Ts and dotted our Is.
Yeah, we're good in that respect. Yeah.
Sit in the middle, David. That's where you have to sit too.
It's the hot seat.
Chair has to stay right
It's a sign seat that you can't move. Sorry.
You're on the hot seat now.
Okay, so does everything look good on the minutes? I'll hear a motion to accept them.
Move accept.
Ooh, I think Eli beat you.
All right.
Eli with the first, Sandy with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Okay, up next we have Heidi from the Barn Owl, request for seating in the park for the new restaurant.
Yeah. We're just gonna pass this around so you have it. Basically what we're proposing is we're gonna be opening the bistro in the next few weeks. I know it doesn't look like it on the outside, but the inside's looking great. And we, what we were proposing is that corner of the park that is closest to the bistro, there's a little corner there. We would like to put between, like we're thinking somewhere between 8 and 12 bistro tables that are really cute out there. Hang some of those outdoor cafe lights, you know, with the bigger like industrial ones across the trees, and a few planters. And so we could have outdoor seating during the summer and fall months. We would bus those tables. This isn't like food in a paper plate. We'd be waitresses or waiters would be bringing the food out, and then they'd be busing the tables, and we would collect the tables and the planters and everything before mow day, so we wouldn't get.
Oh, so they wouldn't come in every day?
What do you mean?
They wouldn't get picked up every day?
Well, the tables,
I mean, they could be if
we
they
could be
needed
if
to
we
be.
needed to be. I mean, I think the planters, I'm visualizing some bigger planters, those would probably stay. And then, you know, we would move those just for mow day. But we could take them in and out, it just is, we're flexible on that. But we think we could help, it would make the park's really, you know, sits empty a lot. And we thought it would make it really cute for people driving through. They'd see this cute little, you know, the lights, and it would be kind of magical. We're hoping in the evenings at least. And we're willing to donate to the town, you know, in whatever way you need, financially or some other way, to make this happen. We're not asking for this for free at all. It's just we don't have any way at the current moment to do outdoor seating. And this, you know, when people, I think you remember that, you know how people are when spring and summer first hit, like no one wants to be inside a building. And, you know, we know that feeling, so we would like to be able to capitalize on that and let people eat outside on a nice night. So-
Just to let you know, in case you weren't here and didn't ever see it, at one point, when Kathy had the restaurant, she had fenced off that area in the front that actually belongs to you,
Yes.
and she had tables and chairs in
We've
there.
had a lot, I mean, to the tune of over 100 people ask us not to take away those spaces because that's their favorite parking spots.
Blinds the
Very,
corner.
very strongly worded requests.
It blinds the corner.
And
So-
pedestrian walkways.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the future, I mean, you know, if we ever get to buy the whole building, well, we would like to put a huge deck on the back, but that's a pie in the sky future thing. So this is just a proposal that we would like, you know, for maybe this year and next to ask for until we can do the back.
we thought it'd be nice, bring some life to the town, like have like people outdoors, and then when they're sitting outdoors, they're seeing all of these other businesses, and they're going, hey, we should stop in there and do some shopping, or hey, we should go there and get a gift and do this kind of stuff. So I mean, it would help bring some life to the park a little bit.
For sure, I would agree. The one thing is, it's kind of unprecedented as far as an ask to have outdoor seating in the park. But as a board, we need to kind of weigh park use for commercial, because if you're using the park to make money in it, like I know a lot of nonprofits and organizations and stuff use the park for that, and that's one thing, but commercial is something completely different, and we haven't really had anybody. We had one kind of proposition earlier this year, but nobody on the scale that you're proposing ask about something like that.
We're happy to, we're fully be insured, and I will add an extra insurance rider to cover that part of the park as well.
Yep. I think it's worth thinking about. I think our board would have to have a fairly in-depth conversation of what we would need to see as far as like just general protocol, because this is, like I said, it hasn't been done before, but it would be very nice, for sure.
You would need electricity out there.
Because
Yeah,
that corner
would
of
be
the park
lovely if we
is a
could have
little
electricity.
electrically dead, isn't it?
I don't think there's any.
There's nothing there, it's on the other corner of the park.
Well, we get a couple 100-foot extension. I know where that plug is, because we had a booth at the Dairy Festival last year. So if we brought it from that plug, we're just talking about those low cafe lights. They don't take a lot, so I think a couple of extensions, they can handle those. But, and then, and we could have live music out there, like a guitar player or something. It could be kind of cool.
So we have a park use ordinance, which would require a parks permit too.
Okay.
So if we did go along with any of this, we would need to fill out some permits. It's going to be a little bit more of a process than just a yes or no. But it's not hard.
Can I just say anything?
Sure.
The power wise, the June Dairy Day Festival, just because my father's in the Lions Club
Yeah.
and I help him, the poles are separate from what's in the park. So the poles that are in the park
Yeah.
are actually during June Dairy Day and then removed.
Oh, okay.
So the only power pole they're talking about is way behind the bandstand.
Okay, well, still not totally.
And we have some, because we went over this recently with another person, there might be some creative back and forth on what might be allowed and not with extension cords and stuff too.
We could do, I know that they make solar powered ones. We could just do that.
We could even talk about a small generator and just place it farther.
Or like a battery
farther
or
away.
something.
Yeah, or a battery. We could do it that way.
And you're going to be serving across the street? Like you're going to be having a
Yeah.
staff run back and forth?
Yeah, but it's, after, in the evenings, that street's, that corner's almost dead. Once school's out, people, when the post office closes, that corner virtually becomes, I've watched it a lot.
Yeah.
Very, very quiet.
Do we have a picnic table in that corner of the park yet?
No, it's down
They're
a
on the
little
other
ways
side?
across from the post office entrance.
Okay.
There's a bench and a garbage and recycling bin.
And the new tree.
Is that true? Yes.
The other thing I can check on is mowing.
Which looks good, yes.
Right, because these aren't.
Generally they mow the park on Fridays, but other events, yeah, they.
Yeah, mother controls.
Do you have a place to store all the tables and planters and stuff in the meantime,
Yeah.
or during mowing
Yes.
day?
Yeah, we have, not only, we have the building, we're also renting the space where the Flower to Flower was. That's gonna be our prep kitchen,
Okay.
so we have there's abundant room in there.
Okay. Are you serving alcohol?
Yes,
Because I know the state is going to have their own separate set of rules
yes.
Yes.
as far as fencing and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder,
With that,
I haven't approached them about this. I mentioned it casually, and they said it was possible, but I haven't done anything formally in regard to this, but I want to talk to you all.
okay. Because you would probably need to install a fence.
We just do
Okay.
like lines between the planters to kind of.
Well, I'm thinking like planters that are
The
tall.
people have to be kind of fenced in.
Yeah.
right, and they're not allowed to leave
To
that
wander out
area,
the
and they
fence.
can't carry their own drinks out.
And unless we were to get, this second class permit, that's just that they take the liquor to go and it's off of our property technically.
But then they're not allowed to
Then they
drink in
can't
the
open it
park.
during dinner.
Right. There's no, there's a big no alcohol sign at the park.
Right, okay.
Okay, well, we could, I mean, I think we could work with that. One thing, I mean, about us is we dealt with a million hurdles when we opened up Barn Owl, like a million. We got a zillion no's, and we were getting very creative in how to deal with problems. So I think we could deal with an impermanent fence of some sort that would look cool.
I guess my ask was, could you draw kind of your area what you were dreaming of?
Yeah.
To present it to our highway department, just to see.
Yeah, it's just literally the front. If you're looking at the park and the parkside buildings right here, it's just that immediate corner. So, yeah, closest to it.
So where the trash barrels are. I mean, that's a terrible way to say it, but that particular corner.
I didn't specifically notice those, but.
Because on the corner that is between the diagonal sidewalk,
It's next to the.
And the other sidewalk.
It's next to the statue, and on this side of the statue, yeah. If you all consider it, that'd be great.
Yeah,
We can discuss it.
I don't have any immediate no's, but there's definitely a lot of
Need
things that.
things to be
need
discussed.
Wonders, yeah.
Yeah.
And this would probably be on new folks more than the village, but just logistically getting the wait staff back and forth.
Safely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen it done in big cities, so I know if we can, if they can do it like, you know, it's done in Burlington, I've seen it in Chicago. If they can do it there, they can certainly, you know.
We do it
here.
across the street in Burlington.
Yes. There's a place I saw, and I saw it like, this is where I got the idea. It was like a year and a half ago. And they were, yeah, the staff was just walking, they'd wait, and they'd walk across. The dishes had the hotel thing on top, and then just walk across.
So I've seen them do like little bump outs.
It was a
on
grassy area. It wasn't a park, but it was a grassy area that was across the street from the restaurant, and then walked across.
I'm wondering if it was municipal land or private owned or.
Maybe
We would know
I
the
didn't
answer,
ask those
but-
questions. I just thought, that's a good idea, and then I just stick it in the back of my brain, and then when we bought the building, I thought, oh, you know.
Yeah. The only other thing that I was thinking is we could put a picnic table over in that corner and people could sit and eat, but it would have to be like no alcohol, more of like a breakfast nook kind of thing than a full-on dinner with service,
Right.
more or less like eat your food.
It would probably, I'd
sit
probably
next
have to do it to
whatever.
go, I would imagine then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a to-go kind of thing, sit in the park and eat, but having a server run back and forth and semi-permanent installations, and stuff like that, we would have to talk about it, but.
What's the parking on that side of the street, like from the corner towards the post office? Is there parking?
Yes.
There is parking.
It's,
On both
during the
sides?
day, it's 15-minute parking.
And it doesn't go all the way to the
Yeah,
top.
that's what, I,
No,
yeah,
it doesn't
both
go, there's
sides.
a no parking here in the
Yeah.
corner.
Because
park.
I wondered if like, you know, an alternative could be that they could rope off the part that's not a parking spot. I've seen that a lot, creating nice little alcoves for seating.
Sort of little bump out with a
Yeah.
fence.
Yep, little bump out with a fence.
Yeah, I've got a great place in Burlington to do that.
So yeah, if you could kind of sketch up a little thing of what you were thinking, and maybe
Just
pick up
help us to
a
look
copy
at
of our parks use permit and just to breeze that over, but also get in touch with DLC to see what their thoughts are, just kind of pitching that idea and see how they feel about it, because I don't know what they would need for like server walkways, fences, whatnot,
They're trying to-
liquor.
Oh, liquor.
And they do have very,
Right.
like,
I mean, we
absolute
don't have to
rules.
do liquor, it's just that, you know, yeah, I mean, I can talk to them. I'm just saying, I mean, if we could just do food, I mean, I'd be happy with that.
Right. Yeah, run it by them and see what they say, because I don't really know the answer if you can have like a no alcohol section of a restaurant,
was given a red.
I'll
you
find
know?
out.
Yeah,
I'll know.
look into that and get back to us.
Okay.
I think that'd be the best.
We're here every 2 weeks.
Give it a second.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. Up next, we have Sherry Underwood, request for water and wastewater allocation, 104 Maple Park.
You have Gary's document there, he's saying that it is fine. They have availability for both, all three? If they're all two?
On the bottom, just on the
Just,
bottom,
it's one additional, right?
both of them.
One water, one wastewater.
One, yeah. She's attempting to turn a duplex into a
Great
per
woman.
unit, and it was a duplex, but I did too.
You can see right through the roof.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'll move.
Motion. Eli has a motion, second.
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 Sandy with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. Okay, that's unanimous. Up next, sign off on state revolving loan for Church Street sewers.
Not really much to this, I just need you guys to sign this. This is kind of the last portion of the Church Street, Maple Park. This is for the state. So after the meeting, you can sign off on that.
I lost whoever was on.
We already made a motion to, well, yeah, to do that. We just need a signature.
Yes, this is.
All right.
Is that working?
It's still.
Okay.
I think
Jesse, you're up.
Everybody needs that.
Food truck and animal ordinance.
Did you talk to him about going into
I mentioned it to him.
executive on some of this?
Yes.
Do you want to go into that? Do you, just because there's some specific references I wanted to, what kind of prompted this, so.
If you want to wait, then that's up to you.
Yeah, we might go into executive because there's some specific.
For both dog and food truck?
Animal and, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's some specific things, just that, yeah, we probably should do it in executive.
Like specific
For now.
examples of?
Yeah,
Okay.
why it prompted me to come to you guys, so,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I think it might be better.
Is there anything out of executive you want to discuss?
No, it's just, we need to start having a conversation about it, basically, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we will move,
So those two guys.
we will move agenda item 7 into executive session. A while ago, not Vasa, was it?
Goes
You're not
northwest
Vassar.
from all the way, yeah, it's Vassar.
It is Vasa, okay, yes.
yes.
So you guys had approached us and asked about opening some or all of village highways. We decided to include this as an agenda item because we want to kind of formally get it out and discuss it with people to see what we have for support and what for not so much support. So yeah, pros and cons. Have you reached out to the state and figured out the 105 situation?
Not yet. We're kind of waiting to see where you guys are gonna go with it
Okay.
before we go doing a bunch of paperwork or not, you know what I mean?
And were you still thinking that specific route down Water Tower, just that extension, or all?
Like I said, I just came here because there's other members that want to be able to come into town legally, because they know other people are doing it. So we can work on the route. I mean, that seems the best option. If we can get by the office up there, the village office. If not, I know someone said Leach has a camp road that comes down through, and we might be able to cross. But I need to go speak with Matt, his brother, sister.
Yep. How does the state feel about 90-degree crossings?
If it's straight across, they don't have a problem with it. We don't usually have to have any kind of, unless it's on the downside of the hill or something, you know, with no visibility. It's usually not a problem.
Okay. And have you talked to the town about using the emergency services?
They're actually the ones that brought it up, right?
Yeah.
As that group, they're actually the ones that brought it up.
They brought it up for
They brought
proposed route?
brought
It
it
was
up.
their
using that.
suggestion.
That was
Yeah.
their suggestion, yes.
Okay, so you would have support from the board
Yeah.
to come down to there? Okay. What are our feelings on it?
Personally, I think it would be a good thing for the town. You're gonna have troublemakers making trouble whether it's legal or
Oh,
not.
they already are?
So you might as well let
Um,
respectful people
Just
want
you
to
guys
do it
know.
legally.
As far as Vassar, we are working on the whole helmet law and enforcing it. And we found that out last night, so.
But, I mean, people that want
Trying to
to
get
do
them
it
in here
legally.
legally with the helmets.
Right.
You know, and just bring the business in, you know?
Exactly. You want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
It's working in plenty of other communities. I mean, I'm not saying that we need to go all out, but, you know, we could take bits and pieces from Newport.
Yeah, I agree with this,
Richford,
the
and-
route to get the what they need to do for gas or whatever in the Maple Field, so. Don't agree with all the highways.
I do not like the idea of, cutting back the emergency services building. The recreation program is trying very hard to get their parks program going. They don't have a set spot for where stuff's happening.
So,
And we're trying to find a place for children up there.
so would we be better off asking for the whole Watertown Road right to the end, and crossing right there, at the intersection?
I don't know if you could get from McDonald's to her place, could you?
Boy, an
You
East
wanna
Street,
look it up?
an East Street extension to,
If we don't wanna use the emergency building.
go ahead, Dave.
So, I've been witness to, actually we're in Newport a lot of our time during the summer. Newport has opened its streets to ATVs. In my opinion, I think, I would like to see you be careful about doing that. I think if you do a little bit, I think it's gonna grow. And that's my take.
I agree with Dave. Just driving around is so challenging sometimes as it is with just the vehicles that are on the road. And then the complications I've experienced with ATVs on the road, legally and illegally, is just, I feel like I think that it creates more challenges and more burdens, and we're trying to make a more pedestrian-friendly community. I'd like to keep our focus there.
Can I say something? I don't know the route that they plan or what they're planning, but as someone that owns a side-by-side, if the routes that are agreed on, I mean, I know hundreds of people that we ride with that do follow the rules, it would only bring more money to our community. I mean, we go out to eat, we stop places, like, we're just gonna bring more attention to Enosburg, and I mean, I'm new to the area, but I really like it here. And I think it's no different than when the snowmobilers, I work at Kathy's, and I have snowmobilers during the winter, so what would be,
Coming to Kathy's, because they shouldn't be.
they park, I don't know the rail trail's right there.
They're allowed to leave the rail trail and come across the road into the parking lot.
So like I said, I don't know snowmobiling stuff, but I mean, I had a bunch of them park out front all winter long to come in and eat. So what would be the difference between a side-by-side or ATV to
And
the rail trail?
that was the big thing, we weren't allowed to use the rail trail because of the summer usage, so.
That's it, and that's the key to the snowmobiler success. You have that whole strip right there that you can go right through the middle of town. You wanna go right downtown on Main Street, you got all Depot Street, you have everywhere that you wanna go within walking distance of that rail trail. And you don't see any sleds on the road, and if you do, then from a law enforcement standpoint, that's illegal. It's very clear that they're breaking the rules. Where if you start introducing side-by-sides, they can't go on the rail trail, so they don't have that route. And let's just say we opened up Water Tower, and then they somehow magically got down to like by Bates in Depot Street. At what point can a law enforcement officer differentiate a legal side-by-side from an illegal side-by-side and a legal road from an illegal road?
Marking.
So that's where you'd have to market, but you'd have to make all of them super aware of.
Which, with VASA, that's what you do.
Right.
Every trail that's marked is on a map. Players Run Command, it's all marked. Everything, the club, they go out, they put the signs up, but we have to register, we have to insure. So that's also with law
Seatbelts
enforcement.
and helmets and.
It's no different than a car. The only thing that we don't have is an inspection sticker. That's the only difference.
And then if you go up in Franklin, they got four-wheeler signs all over the place where you can ride and can't ride. They're big yellow signs that the highway department puts up. Same thing in Richford, I believe, too. They have big yellow signs that posted, because we're like the only village that you cannot ride in.
And the revenue, like she was saying, the revenue would, I don't even
And like,
understand
if
you guys
people
know
really
how
wanted to
much.
go to businesses though, they could also walk and drive. So that's not a complete prevention of people going to businesses.
Or making a route where you can park to walk to those local businesses, like if there was like a specific place where UTVs and ATVs can go, I mean.
As it is right now, the VASA Trails ends on Water Tower Road. right at the 25-mile-an-hour sign.
Right, and you have to find a different route in order to get from that to the other side of town to get to West Berkshire, because like with us, when we ride, we have a trail through the woods in order to get onto four-wheel
It's the I
drive
have to go all the
roads.
way to Colton Road, and then go all the way around. It'd be nice, I could come to the village, like if I wanted to go to Jolly's, I live up at most of you know where I live with my parents, on Birch Lane, and that's off Orchard. If we wanted to go down the street and get something to eat on the Gator, well, we have to just go and chance it, or hopefully get it legal.
But like, even like Montgomery, they're not technically ATV legal, but for in-town residents, they actually are.
So.
Well, how can you be not technically, but you are?
Well, technically through VASA, we're not supporting it, but through the town of Montgomery, any resident is actually legal. It's-
So let me say this. So I think all you folks know that we already have speeding and noise issues. Now, I know all you folks are just great. You drive the speed limit, you don't make a lot of noise, but I'm not sure.
But, okay, so,
Because I got a lot of them that go by my place.
What's the difference of the teenagers in
So-
town that rev up at
Well,
Opera House
well,
every night?
We've already got those, and that's a problem.
Or
so,
even
So-
the motorcycles that we deal with up by our house.
I know.
like Newport, they actually don't
It's
curfew.
kind of irrelevant.
You know what I mean? So at 9 o'clock, there's not supposed to be anybody out there. You get caught, you get pulled over. you get your
Newport
phone.
has their own police department though, right?
Yeah,
So,
but
so
we're also, we have what, Franklin County sheriffs,
We have
the
a
game
contract
wardens,
with them.
for them to ride on the Vassar trails?
for everything.
They would not be here all the time. I mean, if there was a problem, then I would call and say, look, you guys, can you make presence Saturday and Sunday at Jolly's or around that neighborhood? And they would be there for 2 days, in all honesty. I mean, if you guys got a contract with the police department or state police or anything like that, then
We do have a contract with the Franklin County Sheriff's Department, but we're also having trouble getting coverage in vehicle,
Right.
let alone side by side.
Right.
yeah,
Which I'd rather cover in side by side myself, but
right,
that's besides the point.
that can be done.
I've been pulled over 4 times this year, just checking, you know.
They can pull
They
over
check-
just to
oh,
check
yeah,
papers?
They pulled me over for helmets, they pulled me over for registration, they pulled me over for insurance. I've been, like I said, I've been checked out 4 times this year.
Well, you gotta be thinking about it too, they're gonna come down here and blow.
Plus VASA registered.
Oh, yeah, no, and you gotta be a club member too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of hoops that you have to go through to get this, which it should separate, you know, the good crowd from the bad crowd, but
And if they're gonna be bad, I mean, they're gonna come and do it either way.
Yeah.
We see four-wheelers, I'd be honest with you, almost every night on the roads
Yeah.
around here.
Even getting like a group of them on the weekends riding right to Jolly's and then we're flying out of town so they don't get caught.
You got Albert Garage leaves from his house.
But they
Across
fly
from
because they don't want to be
Water tower.
caught, you know?
Yeah.
They're actually flying through town because they don't want to be.
So one of my main concerns is most of the roads that come into the village are state. You have Duffy Hill, I think is the only one that isn't state at all.
Yeah.
And Water Tower Road, which that intersection is a state road. So if the state says no, then that route is done. There's no other routes in or out, except for Duffy Hill.
Yeah.
But
Coming through my parking lot.
yeah, yeah.
You would bypass the state.
All you need is that 50 feet, but yeah, anyway, but Duffy Hill is separate from, is Fairfield and Sheldon all
Yeah.
Vassar?
Yeah.
Sheldon is.
Everything, all highways?
I think Sheldon has everything open.
Fairfield same way?
Fairfield is not.
They don't have any?
Locals only.
Bakersfield has it, they're on their own. You gotta buy your
And
sticker.
not everything's open in Bakersfield
No.
and part of Fairfield.
Right, I knew Bakersfield wasn't everything.
So have you come up the route yet? To get from
We
point
just
A to
have-
point B?
We just have that spot, and then like he said, Duffy Hill. Well, I believe once you get on 25-mile-an-hour zone, then the V-Trans doesn't have a problem with it. It's not so hard to get the approval.
But up on Water Tower, are you gonna come up with a different?
I don't know the roads all that well.
On Water Tower Road, there's a sign that says ATV still out.
Yeah.
After a
One
certain,
In
there has to
Berkshire
go
Lodge.
markets.
Right, Berkshire line.
yeah.
So I think,
We just gotta go fast in that period.
That's the way they are now.
I think the best thing to do would be come up with a route that minimizes village streets if you can. And we'll talk about that later. As far as ATVs on all highways,
But
I don't think that's a good can of
we
worms.
didn't
though.
even bring up all the highways. You
We
know,
started
we
out
just
just to get to
started
that
water
food
tower
truck.
road.
So the reason why I brought that up, because there's been a bunch of residents that have asked me, hey, when are you gonna open the roads up?
Right,
Because there's people that live on, let's say, Church Street that
Right.
wanna, hit the
Yeah.
Bass Trail and get out of town. I get it. But again, opens a can of worms for stuff. But if we can come up with a route, like maybe talk to Matt
Yeah.
and see if you can go in behind, I don't know how much, I don't know how much he owns, but maybe come in like kind
Yeah,
of Franklin
pretty
Foods
much.
way and then Depot, just the gas station, you have Kathy's right there. Or not, yeah, you have Kathy's and Parkside.
Garcia's.
I'm sure Kathy and Mike
They
would
can
be.
walk to Garcia's
Right,
from
talking
there.
about-
Right, just kind of a little
Accessible.
shoot, just to
Right.
What, you
get
mean from
They
Franklin
would have
Foods
something
on
like
Pleasant to Depot?
something like that.
Jeez.
Like minimize village routes and then I
Yeah.
think we'll have to have that conversation then. But, because we
Yeah,
do have an
'cause like you
ordinance,
said,
so,
Once you start, it's gonna
yeah.
evolve, it's gonna explode. So.
Yeah, and we actually have an ordinance, no ATVs on or
Right.
within 5 feet of the road. So this is gonna be a lengthy process if we do go with this, so.
Like you said, you guys are trying to give us more than we even asked for, so.
We're not trying to get it, we're having an open conversation.
Right, you're doing this conversation.
Yeah. Because, yeah. There's pros and cons.
Like I said, all we want is a Hanford parking lot, McDonald's, at that point.
So that's not our road. Ask them. Is
Yeah.
it still, is it
Right.
Pomerlow?
But we need you accessibility to get there.
Still owns it.
No, well, not necessarily, because if you can get, I know Matt has, well, if you can get private roads, private land into the village without going on any village streets, then we don't need to be here having this conversation.
Right.
And I think that would be the easiest route to do.
I think the other thing is maybe talk to Richard and some other towns, see how much more money they brought in once they allow four-wheelers.
That would be hard to calculate, I think.
Well, I mean, you think about it, you go in another place, you go to Richford, you see four-wheelers going to stores all over the place, ATVs, side by side.
But it's not just the money, it's pedestrian safety,
Noise.
noise issues, and people
I
following
mean,
the
they
law.
got people
with
walking
the-
around up there too, and kids.
And it's I've worked in Richford for 5 years. It can be really challenging in the summer seasons to walk
I know,
somewhere
we
because
do a
people
lot
do
of
not stop
activities
for
up there.
pedestrians.
We do a lot of activities up there, and we've always had groups stop for us, so.
I have not always had that experience.
And that's the thing. How do you tell the good guys from the bad guys?
Well,
Because there are those people there are those people who drive all over, speed because they don't want to get caught, they're not legal, making all sorts of noise. And then there are the nice, respectful folks like you all trying to do it the legal way, which is how it should be done, but not everybody is on our same page, so.
But also by opening it up, would probably slow down what you were just saying, people speeding so they're not trying to get caught.
I would
Now
like
that
to
it's
learn from other
there.
municipalities
Well,
if that has
true.
been their experience.
You folks, not that you would ever drive on any village
No,
streets,
never.
but you would slow down because you're now legal. But if somebody else who lives wherever or out of town sees, oh, hey, look, there's side by side road, must be they opened everything up. Now I can drive mine with no helmet, no VASA, no registration, no any of that, so.
John, is that something you were able to
I can
do?
I'll call Newport,
I would call
Richford,
Swanton, because
And
they're most
Swanton?
recently opened, they opened last year.
the village too.
Yes.
Not the
Did they
village,
open one
not the
in
village, but the town.
Town. Yeah, I'm saying Richford and Newport would probably be the most similar,
I believe so.
like village.
Downtowns.
I can tell you, Newport is completely happy with it. They got on their new digital sign, all ATVs welcome. However, if you stand back and look, it has affected the quality of life there.
That's what I keep hearing.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Do you know of any other villages like that Newport?
Sheldon was the year before Swanton.
They're not a village though.
No, not really.
It's,
We don't have the population.
Johnson, Jeffersonville.
They're having a problem with Johnson Select where a few people are totally against it, so they're
They open partially.
Yeah.
Lindenville maybe?
They give like one right away and
I don't think Lindenville's open. Sheffield and Wheelock are.
Because
But
they're
no,
out.
Lindenville or Danville, they're not open.
Island Pond.
Nobody in
I don't-
Chittenden
Island
County,
Pond's all
really?
open.
Yep.
Nobody in Chittenden County?
No, I'm trying.
Good luck.
Yeah, right. It's like walking into a lynch mob.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we have a little bit of a plan. We'll mull it over, get us a good route,
We'll work on
maybe
it.
ask some private landowners.
I'll
We'll go
call.
from there.
Yeah.
these
We'll call
villages
around and see.
Just get kind of the word on the street from the municipality side of things.
See you back in a month. That work?
Yeah.
Sure. And just,
Put us on the agenda for that.
we're just thinking, like you were saying, get the Cathy's, but how, you can't use
Something.
the rail trail, so.
Right. The rail trail would be the key, but if power sports are year-round, I think pedestrian traffic would be almost none.
Yeah,
No,
it was,
Right.
it was paid for.
We don't want
last
to do
year
that
when they
anyway,
said
you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's do some more research and
Nice.
we'll pick this conversation back up.
All right,
Thanks for your time.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Manager's notes.
Keep it light and easy again.
The what?
So I kept it light and easy again.
Well, that's nice of you.
I just wanted to thank the Lions Club again and all the other volunteers. Sounds like EDCA was doing some work as well, putting the bingo and so forth. I think it's a nice event that happens in the village with the parade and everything, so I just wanted to thank them, all the volunteers that partaking in it. We did get a positive feedback from our truck. We did have a truck in the parade, and a lot of people were, thought it was very nice and excited to see it plow this winter. So, a good positive feedback there. The only other thing I had, I just jotted on real quick, so we did hire someone new for the highway department. It is Dwight Robitoy.
Oh, good. Nice.
So he will be starting the 26th. So. He did, I guess he did work for us in interim a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But he's the best fit overall,
Well, Jay worked for us too.
Good.
Jay got sick.
so.
Glad to hear it.
That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Well, that's what we like about you, short and sweet.
Other business. Anybody have any other business?
What about the bleachers that I was talking to you about? How do we, the Lions Club has 2 large sets of bleachers behind the horse bowling. They're just sitting there idle.
I would reach out to the school.
Then we go to school.
The school or the recreation
Yeah.
department?
Right, I would start with like the school and the rec department and see if they have any interest in them.
What do you play for sports up there? Anything?
By the
Is the
rec
soccer
fields?
field up there?
Do you mean by the rec fields or
Yeah.
at the school?
No, I call that over there. The rec fields would be up there.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any bleachers or anything up there?
I have no idea.
No.
I don't think
do
they
any school sports.
do, we play soccer there in the summer and I think there's a couple small benches, but there's no.
But no
bleachers.
bleachers.
Have them get in contact with rec and the school. Is the elementary?
Michael
middle school, high
Wolf
school
is
elementary?
the middle high school recreation, not recreation director, athletic director.
Yeah, they'll find a home for them.
Okay,
Somebody's gonna want them.
Yeah.
okay.
They'll make somebody happy.
Any other business? Hearing none, I will move, hear a motion to,
Does
Do we have
Albert,
another guest?
are you here for executive?
I was, I'm here to, for what I read was gonna be on the agenda tonight was gonna be something about allowing ATVs or side-by-sides through the village of Enosburg. Is that already gone by?
Just missed it.
They just walked out.
We're glad to hear your input though.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't
what
make
you
a
gotta
motion,
say?
we're gathering
I-
information.
I don't see anything against it. The reason I say that is, I've got a lot of friends of mine that own them. We belong to a small club. We don't go 90 miles an hour, we don't have loud mufflers. If you guys I don't know which way you voted, yes or no.
We haven't yet.
No
We're
action.
just discussing it.
My opinion is, I think it'd be a good idea because we'd like to come downtown Enosburg and we'd eat, we'd buy gas, parts for vehicles, whatever. It's good for the business. Versus as we stand now, you've got a dozen manure trucks that go through town, stink to high heaven, and that's okay. You've got these small cars that got extremely loud mufflers, go up and down Main Street 10 times a day, everything's okay. Yeah, she got a motorcycle that's loud, whatever. But the same thing with, for instance, side by side, they're registered, they're insured, you gotta wear a helmet. Most of them have directional lights, they have headlights. I'd like to see Enosburg open to them, that's my opinion.
Can I ask a question I just thought of? Are dirt bikes allowed in the,
No.
it's just ATVs or side by side? Okay, I just,
What's that name? I didn't hear you.
He asked if dirt bikes were allowed on Vasa trails. I said no.
No. No. And side by sides aren't either. Vasa trails are Vasa trails.
So what are those? for?
Railroad
Just-
beds is not allowed.
No, no.
Four-wheelers?
Not Vasta, Vasa, the ATV portion.
Yes,
It's
Vasa
side by
is if
sides
you belong to a club.
But that's side by sides and four wheelers.
Right, it is. And if you don't belong to a club, you're not allowed. They see to it for the right of ways, in country, roadsides, whatever.
I'd like to say, I was in the villages this winter, and there were side-by-sides, golf carts, and cars, and they're all on the same road, and everybody had seemed to be happy. There was nothing, the golf carts are riding right on the streets with the cars. We live in a different world today than we used to. We're not in horse and buggies no more.
You know, and apparently none of us own a car anymore? Or walk?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed when I saw how everybody on the streets, there's 2-3 golf carts, a couple side by sides, and then 5-6 cars. I mean, they're all parked, all mixed up together.
What was the speed limit there?
Oh, they drive like hell.
No, but what's the speed limit?
I don't know.
Not how do they
I didn't have time to see.
it's right enough.
Okay, well, we will take that into consideration, and we appreciate your input.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything?
Any other business? Bye,
Uh,
Dave. Thank you.
David, reminder, I'm not gonna be at the next meeting, so go easy on John taking minutes.
Okay, we'll go really
I
fast.
don't remember approving time off, do you?
That's what I told her.
That's what he tells me every time we take a day off.
All right, I need a motion to enter into executive for the purpose of discussing negotiations and personal matters in which premature public knowledge may compromise the municipality.
Second.